Morning, councillors, to our Infrastructure Services Committee for the 8th of July. Similar to last month, I have an apology from Councillor Clout, who is the chair, so I need a committee member to nominate the chair. There's a nomination.
Mayor Collison.
Mayor Collison has been nominated by Deputy Mayor Ryan. Do you accept the
Yes.
Okay, well, did you want to come and share it up here?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and welcome to our meeting. This meeting will be audio recorded, and those in attendance should refrain from making any defamatory statements. There is no other recording of this meeting without prior authorisation of the committee. Share application for leave. We just have a mover, only Councillor Clout, the mover. Mover Councillor Ryan, second Councillor McPhee. All in favour, against carried. The application for attending the meeting by video link is nil.
No, Mr. Mayor.
Apologies, we've done. Disclosure of interest,
You'll receive that.
participation,
No participation, no.
straight over the agenda on page 3, ISC 07.1, Works Program, Infrastructure Services, Water and Sewer. Graham, sorry.
Through you, Mr. Chair, thank you very much. This is a review of the infrastructure report for water and sewer. Being into the financial year, I thought I'd put a few highlights in of what we have delivered for our capital works. We did $1.2 million of sludge removal. We installed the UV plant last year. We did $700,000 in relining and $1.4 million in pipework replacement. So on behalf of the team, I think we did a fairly good job and we delivered a fair bit. Moving on, the other items on the list. Our recycled water for the year was down. We had a fair bit of wet weather last financial year. The boil water alert at this point in time, the water turbidity being sourced from Aberdeen is fairly good. It's about 0.5 from the river. And since the rain event we had last week, the river's come clear. All the systems are fine. We have taken micro samples on Monday and expect the results back on Wednesday. So tomorrow there is a meeting to discuss whether or not our boil water alert can be lifted. We're just doing some final comms on that to understand what we're going to do for notification to the community. Boil water, if all is good, we will lift the boil water alert across the entire Scone, Aberdeen and Murray. We've a couple of other items on here. The UV plant, there were some things about decommissioning didn't work last time. They're out there commissioning today, and it's looking much more promising that would come online. Noting that the water from the dam is not going to be used, it'll sit idle for a while. Our racecourse sewer system that New South Wales Racing has been putting in has just been commissioned, and now we're in operation for that. And probably the last item, the Glenbourne Dam pipe discharge pipework concrete protection. That job has commenced about a week ago, and that's going to be on for the next 2 months. Other than that, nothing else. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any questions, councillors? Councillor McPhee.
Through you, Mr. Chair, with the racecourse sewer collection system, what's the maintenance cost going to be? Is that going to be recouped through fees, or how is that going to be managed?
It's at the moment. It's part of our system. So we currently are charging fees for all of the facilities out there, so it's being recouped now. It's just that they used to have their own system, and now they've put a brand new system in, and now we are going to operate. So we are capturing the fees now for that facility.
Any further questions? I'll just make a comment on the joint water treatment plant. I spoke to the mayor from Muswellbrook and the general manager, and along with our general manager, we're trying to get an appointment with the Minister for Water and Housing, and they'll either be in Sydney or try and get her up here. talk about the future funding. As we made it very clear along with Mayor Muswell, we don't want a little bit of funding. We need all the funding to make this thing to work. So I'll keep you informed of where that meeting's going to be and watch this space. Thank you all very much. So no more questions on that. Just as a recommendation, the committee received the report, note the information, move Councillor Ryan, second Councillor McPhee, all in favour, against carried. Over to page 10, Works Program Infrastructure Services. Right.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I'll just give some highlights from the report. So the Bank Box Forest Road landslip works, that 4.4 million works, that's completed end of last week, so the road is open back up. However, there is another slip with the recent wet weather, so the road still got 2.5 ton loading. Around the chain it's 7.2 kilometers. In regards to the previous flood works, we are finalizing the claims for the flood remediation works we did over the last 2 years. So we'll probably claim around 600 to 700,000 votes that will come as a total back to council. And the other flood works, projects are going on track and trying to get it all completed within the time frame. And just to highlight, number 6 is we are doing some phosphates and pipe works, out of which we've done two of Mount Erin road phosphates in Merrill already, and there's another 2 that's being poured and casted down as we speak. So those are the photos. The other one is the road maintenance program. So all the road maintenance program for the last financial year have been completed. And we are trying to keep the, complete under budget and on time. Tree planting schedules complete for the financial year, and the RMCT works, actually we have got a new contract. I think over $3 million just additional to what we have, and that's taken our total RMCC income or revenue about $7 million as well. So it's been a very busy year last year, and as you can see, all the KPIs in the table, the front page, we have exceeded all the KPIs, and the customer service, we've been keeping on track. And there's been a few delays with the wet weather events and a lot of CRs coming in, but otherwise, everything is, on time and budget, and we are progressing well in that space. Happy to take any questions.
There are any questions, councillors? Councillor McPhee?
Through you, Mr. Chair, how has the recent rainfall been affecting our grading program? Because obviously we can't control the weather. Has that been, have you had to change or adjust any grading schedules because of that?
To the chair, yes, thank you, that's a good question. If you see in the attachment in the grading schedule, I think the 3 roads and 3 roads in Belfries in Gundy Village haven't been done because of the wet weather, so there's minor impact, but we are having the schedule and we are completing most of the works on schedule. At the same time, now that our crews have come out of the 3 main roads, which is the Bank Box and Moorland Road, we are focusing more on maintenance and catching up on those sort of things. And we also got crews who are going capturing all the damages from the flood, so we can then claim as much as we can and do the remediation. Yes.
So through Mr. Chair, so that means that you're actually being very agile and reactive. So when things are happening, you're going to be addressing them. Yeah. Thank you for that. Just wanted to point that out.
Any questions? Right, just a question on the Gundy or the Gundy Road, the resealing out there. What's the next lot of seal that's out there? Where's that going? The big pile of stuff that's still sitting there. Have I missed it somewhere?
I think at this point we are planning to, we've got the VC program for this financial year ready, and we are looking at commencing it in September when it gets warmer. So hopefully we will use it there. If not, there'll be a plan to back up, return it back to the depot or store it somewhere else to use it for other projects.
Right, because my question there is, we know that job the other day wasn't very satisfactory with the stone. I've been had a little list of that. Is that supposed to be covered, that material while it's in stockpile? I mean, some of it's covered and some of it's whipped and all. The rumour I heard was that maybe because that rock didn't settle down properly because it was uncovered for so long. Not sure.
Now that, so the chair, the reason we were explaining was that the mixing of the cutter oil wasn't enough, and there was also pre-coating that wasn't to the spec when they actually did the work. So they have since then gone and remediated that. So that's a lesson learned, and we have had the contractor performance where we discussed all of this as well. So make sure that doesn't happen again. But that wasn't the reason, because of covering material. But if you were mentioning that the material isn't covered, that's something we can take on notice and we can look into.
Yeah. I mean, that's just what I heard, but I mean, it encourages me to know, saddened to know that these blokes are professionals. And I imagine other councillors got phone calls like I did, but the job was highly unsatisfactory. And it's disappointing that these fellows are professionals, but you know, that's operational, you look into it. Thank you.
Mr. Chair. I do have a quick question if I could.
Yep.
For Ray. It's actually not on the agenda, just a general, if you could give the committee a quick update. You just mentioned we've obviously starting a new financial year, we've got the Rural Roads Committee, can you just let the committee know where that's up to?
Thank you, Councillor Warren, so the chair, the Rural Roads Advisory Committee, the first meeting will be an informal meeting. And what we are currently doing is writing all the required management plans, policies, procedures, and financial documentation that was going to be attached to the report that will come out in the next week or two to the committee. That will give them some time to go through it. And we are planning, at this stage, we are planning to have the first Rural Road Advisory Committee meeting on the 31st of July. So that's what we booked in. But like I said, we're still preparing the reports and it will come out to the committee as soon as we have done it.
That's fantastic, thank you.
Okay, council, no more questions? Got to move the recommendation, the committee receiving the report, move councillor McPhee, second councillor Ryan, all in favour, against, carried. Over to page 21, it's ISC 07.3, it's a strategic and capital work update. We won't go through the whole thing, I don't believe, Ray, unless you wish to. Well, this is questions, so you.
Thank you, Mayor. So just wanted to highlight something for the last financial year. So as you would note in the report, we had around $70 million worth of works planned, and we've kind of completed 92% of the revised budget and around 9%, close to 9% of the original budget, which is actually very good, which is about what we have achieved last year. Now, in going into a bit more detail into the projects, I assume that all of you have read the report. There were around 49 reported projects in this spreadsheet, out of which 32 are still ongoing because the timeline has been extended or revised by the grant bodies. We have completed 17, fully completed, which gives us the success rate of 97 or 98, close to 98% projects completed on time or on the target time, and we have completed around 95.9% of the projects on budget or only within the 10% variation. There's only 2 projects which went slightly over the budget, which is due to some OSPRIT compliance issues and other external factors outside of hands. And the green sections or the green rows represent all the projects that have been completed in the last financial year. So happy to take any questions. Thank you.
Questions, councillors? Right, just one is probably not in here. After our meeting with Kelly Street lights, you got any update on that?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, so what we have done is we actually have had a meeting with the customer and we agreed to do some lighting inspections on whether it has been constructed to what has been designed according to Australian standards. So in regards to that, we have sent requesting quotes from 4 different, companies that do that, including the one customers that is through. Now we have received response only from 3 of them, and the prices are somewhere between $2,000 to $8,000. So we are going with our preferred supplier, who's the best value for money, and we will do that probably in this month or early next month, and we will report back to the meeting.
You,
Through Mr. Chair, how many people have actually been complaining about the lighting?
we've only really had one,
Well,
three, four, was it?
Are
We
we
were meeting
gonna,
with one.
we're gonna spend this much money on these types of things every time we get 4 people complaining about something that no one else in the community thinks is a problem?
Not every home, so it depends on case by case basis. I think this
Or just
sometime.
whose decision was it anyway? Because I just think we're throwing good money after that. There's no real, we've got a few people who just would like to, probably shout at the sky as much as they could. I'm just wondering, is this really the way we should be approaching complaints in the future?
Through you, Mr. Mann. Probably myself and the director have spent more than $2,500 in salary time discussing this matter with this particular individual. It was, I guess, the decision to try and resolve the matter, put it to bed once and for all. I certainly would be spending $2,500 to do investigations every time somebody makes a complaint, especially when we don't agree with the decision of the complainant. However, this was not going to go away. It's just going to continue to cost us staff time and disruption. So the decision was made to go for the low cost option. We'll certainly won't be spending $8,000 and $82,000 or something that will just to get confirmation.
Through you, Mr. Chair, if it turns out that what we assume is to be correct, are we going to be billing the customer for the wasted money?
Through you, Mr. Chair, that was suggested to the customer, although the customer didn't accept that position.
So, through Mr. Chair, just to add to that, at least this will give us the confidence that the work was done, because the complaints were regarding the safety issues as well, so it will address both in this regard. So we thought it was a decision from the senior management to actually go around and do that, so it will give us the confidence that it was all done to the spec. Thank you.
Okay, councillors, move on. You've all had a chance to read through the detailed capital works from 1 through to 358. I've just got one on 188, the roof and cattle yards at White Park. Get an update on that, please. Chris?
Yeah, through Mr. Chair. With that project, for those that are familiar, it's constructing an extension to the existing roof over the White Park Arena. So we cut the cattle yards. So because it's attached to the original roof, we've found out since the D8 was approved, we found out that we have to get the whole complete combination of the roof areas reassessed, rather than just the extension assessed. So we've had to go back and have fire assessment, another assessment against the building codes of Australia. And we'll have to have the architectural plans updated. So we said about that fire probably 6 or 7 weeks ago. It's taken this long, and now good news is yesterday afternoon we got initial notification from Fire and Rescue New South Wales that they didn't seem it necessary to actually review it, and I've been told by the fire engineer that that's a good thing. That means go ahead. But where it fell to was that the certifiers that came back to us, and after we got the DA, they came back and said, you're going to need to get, this is now a large isolated building, over 5,000 square metres in roof area, so you're going to need to put fire sprinklers in, fire exhaust smoke exhaust fans in, and numerous other things. So we had to go down the path of engaging fire engineering to do an assessment to say that, no, that's not necessary. And then, so the process is then that I have to come up with a performance-based solution, which then goes to Fire and Rescue New South Wales to be reviewed. And that was what I just said a minute ago. They've come back and said they're not even going to review it. So the fire guys tell me it's a good thing, it makes go ahead. So I'm waiting on the or advice from the fire engineer, which maybe get today or tomorrow. So that's fingers crossed, good thing. The Building Codes of Australia review, the guy is reviewing, having a peer review today, so we should get that tomorrow as well. And then that will feed into some updates on architectural plans. So I'm hoping that by the time this time next week, we should have everything ready to get back to the certified to approve for the construction certificate. The contract's been awarded to Wimmera Steel, and I spoke to them yesterday. They're ready to go. And we just every week I give him an update, and he's like, "Yeah, no problem. Just let us know when you're ready to go."
Through you, Mr. Chair.
Councillor McPhee.
This is the very problem of Australia that Chris, you've just basically surmised why there's the amount of red tape that goes on to do anything in this country just completely paralyses any kind of forward thinking and any production. So thank you for your patience. Just make sure the lighting's correct.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. It's been frustrating. I think many councils are also getting a lot of comments and backlash from users. It's very interesting to hear the reasoning. I mean, a fire system and fans and water in an undercover arena. What the hell is going to catch on fire? There's no fuel. I suppose there is fuel in there when it's stocking. Anyway, thank you. Keep pushing the barrier and try and get us an answer. I mean, this is our business. We're relying on this business, and we want good stories, not bad. Any questions? No. Any other questions on the report in front of us? Ron Campbell will be very disappointed.
You're getting there though, Boris. You're getting there.
Okay, we've got to move it. Note report. Move Councillor McPhee, second Councillor Ryan, all in favour. Motion is carried. Over to MR 358 Willow Tree Road upgrade. Mr. Bush or Road.
Mr. Chairman, this report offers a project update of works undertaken 2 days over last month. As you noticed, the work itself broken into 4 sections. Section 1, beginning from the hill on the Miracle side, up to our show boundary in section 4. Most stuff we've taken is section 1, cross drainage and installation and concrete table drains. These are actually complete. Section 2, sub-road preparation commenced, which is about 500 mm below finished surface level. Section 3, sub-road preparation and 90% complete. And section 4, cross drainage and soil lines complete. So basically, we're looking at the summary critical activities below. The gaining construction is moved from 85 to 90%. We need to finish those so we can get stuck in the rest of the pavement. Rock belt 100%, 100%, 100%. Earthworks 98, because I always look at earthworks to complete that. The job. Drainage lines, cross drainage is now 25, moved up from 18. That's very important to it. As it rains, it's very wet at the moment. Rain loosen the pavement too. So that the site's actually will try and lost. Pavement draining curving is now 25%, moved up from 20. And road pavement construction is 30% complete, which is moved up from 20. The expected completion date, well, some say end of October, some say early November. Across our fingers, mates, in October or November.
Thank you, Mr. Bush. Any questions, councillors? Councillor McPhee.
Through you, Mr. Chair, it was a shame we couldn't go up and have a look the other week because of the rain. I'm very excited to see the end of the project so we can all move on. So thank you for everything.
It's a good time to see now, actually, before the earthworks, everything's out of place. When if you go too late, you'll see the bitumen and a bit of guardrail.
Good call, Mr. Director, calling that off last week. Yes, I'll be keen to try and work it out again without interfering, holding the job up, but maybe put another notice out and see who's interested. Okay, councillor, someone moved that report, move councillor Ryan, second councillor McPhee, all in favour, against, carried. Go to page 54, is the Castle Sewage System Project Update.
For you.
This one, have I? There is the local roads initial seal. Right, or Chris.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Since the last meeting, I can report that Barrington Top Forest Road and Hunter Road are now complete, or the sections of road that we're working on. So all works are now complete. There were a few outstanding items when the report was written, but they've all been taken care of now. So we've ended up with Barrington Top Forest Road for the first 6.6 kilometres. It's fully sealed and guardrailed and with signage, and you can see a couple of photos up there. And what you can see on that top photo on the left-hand side, there's still showing some stone in the drains. So that's what's been done since this report. Since this report was written, that's all been cleaned up. I've had a sweep truck up there picking all that up. And and then so between 6.6 kilometres and 7.1 kilometres, we've finished the base course, but it's not sealed and guardrailed. So that will be, the plan is, I believe, that when the weather warms up again next summer, that will be addressed and completed. And then, so that takes it up to 7.1 kilometre change, and then at 7.2 there's a slip, those are the smaller slips. So, and then another one of about 7.45 change. So those works will have to be addressed before the pavement gets completed through that area there. Moving on to Hunter Road, we were targeting 4 kilometres. We actually completed 4.2 kilometres, sealed and guardrail with all drainage. And you can see a couple of photos there. And again, you can see there's a bit of stone on the sides of the roads that's been cleaned up since these photos have been taken. And if we turn and look at the budget, the expenditure, if you combine Moonabrook Road, Hunter Road and Barrington Forest Stage 1 and 2, we have a budget of $21,075,000, and we've come in at $21,004,000. So we're $71,000 under budget for the whole of the 4 stages all put together. Are there any questions?
We have to give the money back.
Couple of quick questions. So you said there's a little bit more up the Barrington Road, had another seal on it when the weather warms up between the certain changeage. That's fine. Don't forget the few signs that were supposed to do the deal up at Moonabrook Tennis Courts, just children ahead. Remember we did that deal? If there's anything in the budget.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. That's in my mind. We'll have to get onto that. Yes.
Thank you. Well done. Yeah, great work.
So, the chair, just right to that. So this is going to be the last report because the projects have been completed, and we have completed everything that we approved scope has been from Transport New South Wales. So these other sections that Chris was mentioning will be a separate project with a separate funding, so not within the scope of this project. Thank you.
Thank you. No other questions? Move Councillor McPhee, second Councillor Ryan, all in favour, against, motion is carried. Now we'll move over to page 54, Castle Sewage System. Graham.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There's been a small amount of work occurring in the last month on this. We've engaged the project manager, who is now getting into the design and getting through the documents. There are a fair few, about 600 pages of design documentation. We've also done a handover and brought on board. So the project manager is a guy called Nick Doran, who's been in council doing other work for us for a while, and Chloe Leake is going to be the admin person on that role. The activities in the next month, we've got, well, next 3 months, we're going to do a detailed design review. We're going to commence some consultations with the showground and the bowling club group because they're looking to update some of their facilities. And we're looking to get some aerial mapping done this week or next week because the council's aerial mapping does not cover Caskets and much easier to do stuff. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any questions, councillors? No questions? The mover, Councillor Ryan, second Councillor McPhee, all in favour? Against, carried. Councillors, that's the end of our agenda. Just, Chris, have you got on the meeting to go before? Okay, so as we're aware, Chris is retiring after quite a few years, Chris. 9 years here as a project manager. On behalf of the infrastructure and council, we thank you for your services. And I think you just paid off that report you've just given on those big projects out in the east. It's your dedication to the work, your experience to the work. We thank you very much. We wish you all the best in your retirement. Reconsider if you wish. But no, we do, to be fair, all the best for you and your family, and we'll certainly see you around the traps. I think you're still living locally.
No, I'm moving down to Anna
I heard that rumour. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Very good. And of course, Councillor Clout will be back next meeting with the bassinet. And just take that opportunity, we need to congratulate him on behalf of this committee, Councillor Clout, congratulations on the safe arrival of your baby daughter. Okay, councillors, declare the meeting closed at 1:01. Thank you.